When last we saw you, beautiful band of heroes, you had been hired by Dill Tallgrass, leader of the Tallgrass Pride in the Long Meadows, to accompany his pride and their very precious cargo, the Starseeker, to the Starfall Festival in the Celestial Plain. Unfortunately, in spite of your best efforts, bandits ambushed the Pride when you made camp at the side of the road, and the Starseeker has been stolen. Now you are hot on the trail of the thieves. You made it through the fallows, the wild grasses that grow in this region, and made it past some deadly creatures. And you found a clearing where you found the corpse of one of the runaway thieves. And after searching the body, you found a hand-drawn map on that unfortunate soul that had a note on the reverse that said to follow the night, find the key to the right, then go left to trace the stars. Cryptic, beautiful, a love poem perhaps? Who knows? But you found that, you followed the map, and you have discovered the bandits' hideout in an old world ruin. You're currently standing at the edge of the fallows, concealed by the long grasses. There's sort of large pieces of masonry between you and the ruin entrance, and you can see two shadow bandits and a leashed timber wolf standing at the entrance of the ruin. The two bandits appear to be deep in conversation. Their heads are bent low towards one another as though they're discussing something. Pray tell, adventurers, what would you like to do?
Well, I see a dog in the room, so I want to pet that dog.
Yes, but the dog is surrounded by our foes.
That is a fair point.
Iroka, tell me a little bit about your relationship with the hounds of and wolves of Mythos, and what is it that sort of compels Iroka to pet this dog? And do, of course, please let me know if you decide to approach at all.
Yeah. Well, Aroka is a woodlander, and I think she would recognize that this is a hound that is native to the land that she is also from. So she's seen them around before. She's definitely seen like domesticated versions of these very sweet hellhounds. So the problem that Brock very wisely mentioned is that there are two bandits here that we need to get out of the way so that we can give scritches to this hound. So that's what Aroka's thinking about right now. Very dog-centered motivations.
Yeah. Empathize, totally understandable. The rest of you, what are you thinking as you survey this scene?
I also want to pet that dog, but I'm pretty concerned about the bandits. I don't know. I think we could probably take these two bandits pretty.
We can, of course, take these bandits down.
Is there any concern that fighting the bandits will make this very good boy or girl want to fight us and like miss the Scritch's opportunity that Iroka was talking about?
That would be my largest concern. That, or possibly alerting more bandits, putting even more bandits between us and Scritches. So those are my thoughts.
Is there, where we're positioned, is there a way that we could just, crawl around through the grass?
So you're at the very edge of very tall grass. So imagine you're sort of peeking through a sort of curtain. There's a layer of grass enough that you can't be easily seen. And there are huge kind of chunks of ruined stone from this ancient building. So you could move laterally and stay within the grass. The fallows come to an end here. Or potentially, if you were sort of agile and stealthy enough, you could potentially kind of make a dash for a nearby piece of stonework. At that point, of course, you would be out in the open, but you would be ducked behind something.
My vote is to try to sort of sneak through the grass and crawl over, but the performer in me sees an audience as well, so we could stage a very dramatic we could do a very dramatic distraction, but we got a plan for it.
Go for the dramatic distraction.
I do
So
like
you
that.
say but I'll need some help. So we have the veil of we're hiding behind the shiny pretty grass, right?
Correct.
So maybe we can do some sort of interpretive dance behind to catch their eyes. And then maybe Aroka can still get to pet the Timberwolf. We could all be happy.
I have a thought about this, actually.
Perfect.
If you want to begin your performance and your distraction, I do have an ability as a woodlander to whisper. It's called Whisper of the Woods. I can send a brief message via the root network.
Oh, I love that.
I wonder if I can send a message to the wolf that just says, "Come here." Or maybe like, "It's okay," just some sort of calming message, so they know that we're friends and they don't get caught off guard by us. Or maybe just treats.
Please, can you, for the group, please read out Whisper of the Woods, the description of Whisper of the Woods as a spell in its entirety.
Yeah. So, Whisper of the Woods: send a brief message to a friend via the root network of any plant. The better you know the friend, the clearer the message will sound.
Now, how good a relationship do you think Aroka has with the Timberwolf that is currently leashed up ahead?
This Timberwolf? Probably non-existent, but
Aroka is friends with all nature's animals.
That's what I'm saying. Thank you, Brock.
I've seen her do it. She's very friendly with all of them.
Instant friends.
Okay. Understood. Wouldn't expect anything else from a woodlander such as yourself. That will be a very difficult role. However, if this plan that you're talking about is coming together, as if you want to execute it as you're discussing, then I think roles could potentially become easier depending on, how the performance goes, exactly what Aspen and Brock are doing during this scene that's about to play out. So please do describe to me in detail what happens, and exactly. Please do make it clear when you're doing the thing versus when you're just talking about when you're still planning the thing, just so I'm clear on when things actually start to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I have an idea for the group here. I'm a rogue, as you all know, and it looks like I can get a little closer by using my skullduggery spell. Skullduggery, if you don't know, it will make my suspicious activity seem more on the level. So even if they do maybe kind of see me a little bit out of the corner of their eyes, and they'll just think I'm a wandering traveler that loves old ruins. And I feel like I could get a little bit closer in case things don't go as planned, and I might be in a better position to help.
Aspen is always on the level. This is known.
That sounds good. Good plan.
Excellent. So, Aspen, are you going to lead the charge here with that action?
I think is everyone ready? I'd like to know what Brock, I know you maybe like watching performances more than taking part in them.
This is true.
I'm wondering what you're going to do here.
You guys notice that Brock is looking pretty sleepy, and he's kind of yawning right now, and he's just Yeah, we should do whatever you guys want to do. Yeah, let's go. I'm sorry. I'm like more of a morning Highlander. This is like way past my bedtime. So we should just get going.
I think if we want to run some approaches simultaneously, we might be able to come at this from a couple different angles. I imagine
Mm-hmm.
if Lady Tilda,
Mm-hmm.
make sure to address you by your proper title, if Lady Tilda is running distraction, and Aspen is sneaking up, then I can engage with the very good boy or girl to make sure that they don't interfere with those plans.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you start distracting, the bandits will probably come over to you, Lady Tilda.
They probably will indeed. So I have a thought that's reminding me of a choreo that we did at the Starfall Festival about 30 years back. As you know, I'm a bit older.
Oh my goodness, you don't look it.
I know. I have to mention it just so that you are aware that I'm not in my golden year anymore. But anyway, I was thinking that Brock could stay with me and we do the performance together so that in case the bandits come to us, I have some muscle. I can stand up for myself, but it'd be helpful to have, I don't know, a gigantic Highlander next to me just in case the bandits come over there. Are you thinking that we stage our interpretive dance before you do your whisper spell?
Um,
How should we time it? Because I have center of attention spell.
oh, does that question for the GM? Does center of attention apply to creatures as well as humanoid?
Um, so center of attention draws the attention of all who hear it, right? So sorry, I'm just bringing it up on the screen so that we can show it. So it will draw the eye, and it captivates your audience. What I would say is, depending on the role of the spell, given that Timberwolves aren't necessarily known for their love of interpretative dance, just because they are sort of captivated and intrigued by it, they may not be held by the certain majesty of Lady Tilda's movement. And what I can only assume will be an excellent contribution from Brock as well. So it certainly works in that it will draw the attention of all. So that includes creatures and monsters. But I think that given the sort of nature of Timberwolves, I would suspect it might be less captivating for them.
I guess as long as I don't look like prey in the that they may want to. What do timberwolves eat? People?
They're like wolves that you would know. So they are carnivores.
They're mostly plants. They just like absorb water when it rains on them.
Just curiously, does Brock actually roll me a nature check, Brock? I'm going to request that from you. I'm just curious as to whether Brock has some sort of knowledge about Timberwolves or whether he's just fronting.
Oh, Brock is an idiot, so he has no idea. But I'll roll anyway.
Ooh, I love that dice.
Not bad, but no, Brock's a dum-dum.
Okay, cool. I'm glad that that's supported by the dice as well. Yes. The Timberwolves are carnivores. They are, of course, infused with their homelands, just like Mithans are, the people of Mythos are. But there's no, they sort of water cascades off their bodies, much like any wild animal. They don't, they don't absorb it and become rotten like a dead tree might, for example.
So I know that I think as a woodlander, I know that these wolves are like they do run in packs, like they are wolves, but they can be domesticated. And clearly this one has been, since it's hanging out with these bandits. I guess I'm wondering if there would be like a way to maybe determine how loyal this domesticated creature is to the bandits. Like, are they getting enough scritches? Are they getting enough treats? Would they immediately betray the bandits if I offered those things? These are the important questions.
You are still quite far away,
Mhm.
but you are a woodlander. You have said you have some familiarity with these creatures. So I would like to request a nature check from you also, Hiroka, to see what you can glean from the Timberwolf's body language.
Would I be able to do an empathy?
Yes. Roll me that nature check first,
Okay.
just because I want to get a handle on what you know of like the creature to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And then I will request an empathy check. Not massively familiar with this particular animal, but you are looking for cues that perhaps transcend species.
Hmm.
So I'm going to keep it difficult because you are still quite far away.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know much about these particular boys, but apparently I know nothing about any any boys.
From where you are, you just see a wolf sitting down at the end of a chain, being held by one of the bandits, and it doesn't seem particularly distracted with that role. You can't glean any particulars about its behavior, but that is, from your vantage point, that is what you can see.
Okay. Well,
Do you want me to move into position here? Listen, the rogue in me is getting a little antsy here while we talk about all this petting and scritching. Brock is practically passed out, and I know he's got to perform.
we're on a clock with Brock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I skulldugger? Are you folks ready?
Yeah.
Okay, Aspen, before you roll your skullduggery check to cast that spell, I would like to know exactly how Aspen is going to approach. What bravado Aspen is going to bring, and sort of what behavior you're doing. Like, are you just walking straight up to these bandits? Are you walking somewhere, a specific spot? Please do describe to me what the plan is here for that.
Yeah, so I mean, objectively, I want to get closer, right? I just want to be there in case something goes south with either the scritches, Brock's probably amazing performance. That's the goal here. But with this spell, I just want to seem like I really love ruins. And so my plan here is to I'm not so much interested in the bandits or this Timberwolf. I'm interested in the stone and the moss and the rocks, because that's what I like. And so my plan is to walk up and really not even look at them. Like, I'm fully invested in the ruins here. And so they'll see this, and I believe, or I think they'll just kind of see me as a passerby. So that's sort of my plan. More of a meander, not so much a straight line. It's just kind of an exploration of the stones themselves. That's what's going to happen.
Okay.
I love it. That's going to be a roll on normal, please.
Beautiful.
Rota, were you gonna add something?
Well, I was just gonna say, Lady Tilda.
Yeah.
What if since Aspen is going to be like out in the open, What if we
Mhm.
convert your performance into that of like a character that you're playing, maybe a tour guide who is taking us on a tour of the ruins, and that would explain
I
everybody else's presence as well.
That's a gorgeous idea because I was so stuck in the I was choreographing in my mind how me, you, and Brock could
Right.
call back to, as you all remember, my performance in a Coral Coast musical that was inspired by kelp. So we would just kind of be floating around. So I was thinking through how that would work with all three of us, but I think your idea is much better. And yeah, so we'll be us, our full group will be a tour.
Mhm.
And I've been through these runes a million times. I could give the tour.
Mhm.
So we'll just kind of play it cool. I think that's going to be great.
And in the interest of playing it cool, Aroka will kind of prop herself up on a nearby rock, looking hopefully very cool and chill and normal.
Yeah.
Brock, while this plan is being hatched, I would like to request a might check from you on difficult to see whether Brock is still awake or not.
Sure.
Brock is, in spite of your fatigue, you are wide awake. Can you tell me a little bit, Brock, why is it just your sheer constitution that enables you to sort of stay awake in spite of being tired, or has something struck a chord here and you're now a little more energized?
I think he's just zoning out really hard right now. Like about something has nothing to do. He's not paying attention to any of the planning at all.
Okay, wide awake, but not necessarily in the room, so to speak.
Just
No.
like a perfect tour.
Yeah,
Perfect tour attendee.
exactly.
So that's great.
They got dragged along by their friends. I think.
Okay.
Should we offer the Shadow Bandits if they want to join the tour, just to make it so natural seeming?
I think you should go with your heart. This is your performance, and like I'm here to yes and you right through those ruined doors.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Tell me who is first. We have Lady Tilda prepared
Mhm.
to do the center of attention role. We have Aspen ready to do a skullduggery role. Tell me the order in which you're going to step out of the grass so that we can see how this plays out. Who's emerging first?
I think Lady Tilda needs to emerge first.
I'll emerge
Loud.
first. Loud, walking backwards, because I'm giving the tour, as a tour guide does. So I'm walking backwards. Yeah, who wants to be first in line? Or second in line, I guess.
I'll go second. I think as we get close enough, and once they see you, they're gonna see me right after they see you, and that's when I want to sneak off, like right away. So maybe like I'm sneaking once the third person emerges, right? Like they see you, you're loud, they see me, I'm bewildered, and then they see the next person, and that's when I go.
Well, I think I'll just look at Brock and, if you don't mind, and see if I can take them by the arm. If you need somebody to lean on to prop you up while you're feeling sleepy, I'll be here, and we can follow in behind.
What's happening?
You're good. You're doing great, sweetie.
Oh, okay. Let's go.
And then we'll be in behind them.
Okay, Lady Tilda. I love this for you. I love this for you all. I love this for me. What I would like to happen here is I would like for you to give me the opening sort of portion of the tour of what you're saying as you walk backward. From there, I will determine how difficult the level of your center of attention spell needs to be.
Beautiful. All right, so I'm walking backwards. And up here, we'll see a gorgeous old world rune in the Long Meadows region, which we've been picking up star fragments along the way. You'll notice the glowing grass, and now I'm panicking because I'm a roller coaster in the Long Meadows. But you'll see ancient architecture, and also the beautiful moss growing is very, very healthy. So you can actually pick it up and eat some.
Roll me center of attention on normal, please.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
The bandits, you just hear, there was sort of muttering, and you just hear, hey, what's that? And one of them looks, and sort of you emerge, in, tell me, is Lady Tilda wearing the gown portrayed in her portrait, or is she sort of dressed in some other fashion?
I'm always wearing a gown, and I am wearing that gown that I'm pictured in. And I also have a necklace that could pass as a lanyard.
Amazing. So they see this rear view of this stunningly beautiful, from what they can tell from behind anyway, woman in this sort of sequined gown coming towards them, and they're like, what the blaze is it? And then you cast your spell. This sort of magic radiates from the words that you're saying and the tour that you're giving. It sort of ripples. There's almost like as though a light breeze has flowed across the bioluminescent grasses here, like until it reaches the bandits, and you see the look of sort of very irritated confusion turn into more of a stupor. Their faces are like, what the hell's going? Wow, ain't that something? They're both just sort of staring, and they're sort of walking towards you. Now, the Timberwolf is also very interested in what's happening here. And it's on a leash, so as they're kind of slowly walking towards you, sort of in this stupor, it is also walking forward. However, it is walking more with its haunches up and its head down, and you just see it sort of, well, actually, you don't. The rest of you, please roll me who's emerged from the grass? Has anyone else stepped from the grass? Is anyone else watching, looking over at the bandits?
Oh yeah, we're in the tour group.
So Iroka and Brock, I am going to ask you for a perception check on difficult here for a quick moment, if you would be so kind.
I'm not paying attention to anything that's happening right now.
Okay. Great.
Good tour. It's a really good tour.
Great.
Truly entranced.
I mean, nobody can take their eyes off Lady Tilda. Maybe, in spite of you being mages, like maybe the spells worked a little on you too, and as far as you can tell, you're following, not too far behind, presumably, and it's all going to plan. Now, Aspen, please tell me what happens as you're emerging as this tourist, as somebody fascinated by the beautiful piece of history before you. Do feel free to throw any extra flavor on that while you roll me your skullduggery check on normal, please.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm also pretty into this tour, but I remember, I know what I'm supposed to be doing. The Lady Tilda's charms not working on me as well as everyone else. I'm focused, but I am acting very interested. So it's a lot of looking around as I'm sneaking forward, and that's when I cast Skullduggery. And thank you. It's also good. Okay.
Oh, phew.
Yeah. So as you kind of get closer, you the bandits may, like, they're extremely captivated by Lady Tilda, but there might be a sort of quick glance aside, but they just totally accept that you are with them on this tour and that you are just as kind of intrigued by this as they are. Now, whereabouts are you all positioned as far as, do you know what, let me pull up the bird's eye view of this scene.
Ooh.
Some may call it a battle map.
Mm-hmm.
Why would we call it?
It's just the term for it. I wouldn't worry about it. It doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be any shenanigans. Now, I'm going to make the assumption here that Tilda's out front, leading this tour. The bandits have come a little closer, sort of in their rapture at this incredible figure, giving just a frankly extremely informative tour. The Timberwolf alongside one of them. Now, we've got Aspen. Whereabouts will you, this skullduggery roll that's kind of given you free reign to position yourself wherever you want in the sort of vicinity without arousing any issue. Whereabouts are you putting yourself in this scene?
Yeah, so we all want through the door, but I'm really not about to leave my party and go through this door, and I think that ultimately I want to be in the position to take out these bandits quickly if I need to. So I've snuck in between the two bandits in that open path, and I've actually made my way up and to the right, and I'm leaning up against the column here, maybe just a touch closer.
Little bit, like the entrance, like sort of here?
No, towards the bandits.
Oh, towards the bandits?
Yeah, this is whole. Yeah.
Okay, and Brock and Iroka, how are you sort of in the right position here, or would you say you will have walked out somewhere? Should I position you slightly differently?
Nope, that feels right. I think we are listening intently to the tour, just behind where Lady Tilda is standing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Now, while this sort of scene's playing out, bandits captivated by Lady Tilda, Timberwolf captivated in a slightly different way, but still very much its eyes are on Lady Tilda. I would like for you all to please make a perception check. I will send the request to you. It's going to be undifficult because I think Lady Tilda continues to hold court.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh no.
This is going great, you guys.
Oh no. Wait, I'm gonna look at the game log. Oh no.
Oh, one
Great.
lonely guy at the end.
All right.
Hmm.
You are all, I just want to say, you are all doing great. Really, really well. So great, in fact, that during this incredible performance, you're so in it, you're just playing the roles of this tour guide, and Aspen's sort of feeling the stonework, and I mean, Brock's obviously half awake, but what can you expect from a lad like that? So what you don't see is the patrolling shadow bandit and his Timberwolf coming back from his sort of circular patrol around the area, and he, as soon as he enters this sort of clearing and sees this scene in front of him, you just hear, "What the hell's going on?" Lady Tilda, I would like for you to please roll me a spellcraft check, because I would like to know if given this distraction, you are able to hold your center of attention spell enough to kind of keep the two bandits and the Timberwolf that are enthralled by you.
Gotcha. And not charm, right? You said spellcraft?
Yes.
Yeah, you said spellcraft.
This is questioning. Yes, unfortunately, this is about whether the potency and the focus of your magic can hold true in spite of the fact that there is a shadow bandit and Timberwolf hustling towards you in a very aggressive way.
Okay, rolling. Oh no. Okay.
Weapons.
Oh.
The magic is broken.
Dang it.
The spell is gone. All of a sudden, you see the bandits that were enthralled by you being like, "What the?" A Timberwolf, a chain is dropped. A Timberwolf starts to leap towards you, and the bandit, the shadow bandit, and the Timberwolf that came in and caught you in the act of this great pretend show are also on their way. Iroka, you're first up.
Oh,
Can you tell us what you'd like to do?
great. I am so excited because there is now another dog for me to make friends with. Probably, but also...
Always see the positives. Love it.
Yeah. So, Okay. Wow. Let's see. Nope, that's not me. This is me. As I run past Lady Tilda, I'm just gonna say that was a beautiful performance.
Oh, thank you so much.
I've always been a big fan. Oh! Okay.
That'll do it.
Oh!
And I'm just gonna
Iroka,
thwack
what
that guy.
what ability was that?
That was Radiant Beam. I realized, like, I haven't played a Radiant very often, so immediately I was trying to read through all of the spells. And that's the one I've always known to be the most effective.
Yeah, just a concentrated laser basically shoots out, and your bandit friend is looking a little singed, but still very much standing. And the bandit closest to Aspen suddenly wheels around and just looks at you, Aspen, and is like, "You weren't interested in rocks, were you? I can't be fooled." And he draws back a kind of smoky, shadowy arrow sort of forms in the air and shoots out towards you, but sails past your shoulder. I guess a part of him still dared to dream that you were just a wayward tourist. Lady Tilda, what would you like to do?
So honestly, giving tours may be my new passion, because I'm like looking at the arches and I'm like, and right over there is a beautiful traditional Mythian arch. But as I am continuing to delusionally give my tour, I'm gonna go over. You know what? I'm gonna take a few steps backwards to go towards that shadow bandit. Excuse me, were you enrolled in this tour? And I'm gonna go. So I'm also a radiant, but I love the. I'm gonna go with the life siphon, and I don't want to hurt the Timberwolf, so I'm going straight for the shadow bandit.
Oh, you siphon that light beautifully.
Woo!
See like a light kind of come up and out of his mouth, and like you absorb it and you feel invigorated, and the shadow bandit looks somewhat worse for wear, I will say. This guy's standing right next to Iroka and wants to say hi in a way that only shadow bandits know how, and with his opening strike just tries to cut you a little bit, and he does. Just little.
So rude.
It's called a bandit's handshake.
Ah.
I know I'm up, and I am touching the rocks, and I'm still kind of like feigning this tour. But as everyone in this party knows, I do love to yell quippy things as I make my attacks, as most rogues do. And I just look at the bandit that shot an arrow at me, and I yell, "Tor's over," and I hurl a lance at him. But it,
Oh,
He was
turns out the
so
tour was not over.
he's so confused by the word Tor that he kind of turns like in a way to sort of physically express his confusion, and doing so dodges the attack coming his way, and he's like, I don't even know what a Tor is. And now the Timberwolf, very well trained, this doggy, and has currently no reason to consider any of you as friends. This Timberwolf is going to take a look for the biggest hunk of meat in this place. So naturally goes over to Brock and is just going to try and take a bite of that prime rib. And does. Big old bite. Yeah, Brock, are you awake?
You are a bad dog. Sit down. And he just ignores the wolf. And he's going to try and gleefully land right in between these bandits. Oh, yeah. So he is finally awake and having a time of his life. This is what Brock lives for.
Brock's time to shine. Shadow Bandit next to Lady Tilda is gonna give Tilda the greeting that Eroka got to enjoy not so long ago. Pulls out a dagger and just thrusts it towards you, and it does connect. Small flesh wound.
But hopefully it didn't rip my sequin gown.
This Shadow Bandit, maybe because he respects good fashion, it's hard to know, actually did manage to stab you without tearing the beautiful gown that you're wearing. So time will tell whether it was intent or accident.
Thank you.
This Timberwolf's turn, similarly with the one that went for Brock, it knows no different than to try and protect its owner, and does try and take a little bite of Lady Tilda, but those teeth gnash and just miss. Lady Tilda, you did
bad dog.
Eroka would back to you. What would you like to do?
That dog also respects good fashion.
Yeah.
Bring itself to do it.
I would like to do what I should have done to begin with. So I always forget. You can do skill checks in the battle map now.
Of course, absolutely.
I was wondering if I could possibly try to charm this Timberwolf away from the battle.
You absolutely can. Please tell me how you will be doing that.
Yes, thank you for asking. I reach down and find the biggest stick that I can, and I hold it over my head and go, "You want the stick?" And if they seem excited about it, depending on how this roll goes, I will chuck it as far as I can away from everything that's happening, and hopefully they will chase it.
Absolutely. Roll me charm. Remind me, Eroka, what class are you?
I'm a guardian.
A guardian, okay. Roll me a charm check. It is going to be on difficult.
That's fair.
Just because guardians have to, tend to live and play by the rules, and aren't always known for their joviality and charm. Do you know what?
Would it help?
You tell me if there's a reason that role should be easier for a guardian like Iroka.
Right. Well, Aroka is not your average guardian, first of all. She's that girl. And also, I do believe in our prep for this, I did describe her as having golden retriever energy. I think game recognizes game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can roll that check on normal.
Let's go.
I stand corrected. Roll check on normal, please.
Aroka is basically a dog herself. Please. Ooh, let's go.
Would have made it if it was
Yes!
difficult to, but what does it matter? For a second, Iroka raises that stick and the dog kind of cowers and growls, but then it sees the light dancing in Iroka's eyes and the sort of bounciness of your movement, and all of a sudden it ducks down on its haunches in play pose and then is like dashing like left and right, like ready to chase that stick wherever you throw it.
Oh, that's awesome. I do the same thing. I'm matching their energy. There's a whole battle going on behind me, but I am getting exactly what I've wanted from the second I saw that there was a dog in the room. And after like a little bit of back and forth, I am going to throw the stick as far as I can away from all the fighting.
Incredible. That little puppy chases it out of sight, sort of back behind some stones. You can't see it anymore. It is gone. Iroka, that is your turn, so I am going to move you to the back of the turn order.
Mm-hmm. Perfect.
Shadow Bandit up next. They're not loving this whole situation, the Shadow Bandits. And this guy is getting pretty mad about what's transpiring here. He's got his dagger out and he's gonna try and just cut Brock. He's seen Brock do some damage, doesn't like it. But that dagger just hits abs of steel.
Yeah, he just laughs.
Unable.
He just laughs. He's like, "You're terrible at this."
The bandit just looks, he's like, I'm gonna get you. You're gonna suffer for this, big man.
Okay. All right.
Lady Tilda, pray tell, what would you like to do?
So first things first is I stretch in my dancer way, just to prep to deal my radiant beam. I'm still gonna avoid trying to hit the Timberwolf. And you know what? Should I move? Nah, I'm gonna stay in my position. And I'm just gonna cast this beam.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That radiance eclipses some of that Shadow Bandit's shadow, and he is not looking great.
It's a shame.
Shadow Bandit over here looking worse for wear. He is gonna sort of step back and then try and strike Iroka with his shadowy arrow. Pulls back, shoots. His aim's not great. He's injured. He's panicking. That arrow flies past you, Iroka, misses you completely. Aspen, what are you going to do?
Well, I'm a little upset that these guys hit Brock so hard. Brock was just napping a few minutes ago, and I feel like they should have known better. So I'm stepping back, and I'm prepping a fireball that I think should take care of at least one of them. And so I reach back and I cast. Ugh. Sorry, Brock.
Tell me what it looks like when a fireball kind of doesn't materialize. Why do you think that might have happened?
Wait, it's funny you should ask. The fireball did materialize. It really did. I promise. You guys just couldn't see it, and I think that's the issue here. So I saw it, and no one else saw it, and that's
right. It's that invisible fire that people have been hearing so much about. Flameless, smokeless, heatless, incredible stuff.
All the rage.
Brock, charging forward.
I thought you were going to cast a spell. Aspen,
Sorry.
Did you cast something?
I did. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's all right. Hold on. I just smushed that guy. And then I'm like not really even paying attention. I'm like,
What combat ability was that, Brock?
that was grounded. So he's just like embedded halfway through the earth at this point.
You just kind of smash that bandit into the ground, and all of a sudden he looks half the height because he's been sort of buried into the ground and is totally flat out unconscious. Next bandit's going to make his move, and just this ongoing sort of battle of wills between Lady Tilda and the bandit that sort of caught you all. Just gonna he's gonna take a few steps away and try and shoot you with shadowy arrow.
Oh, I thought
it does not connect.
I catch it
in my teeth.
You with the true pizzazz that only Lady Tilda can pull off. It's there in your teeth, and you look perfect.
Fabulous.
This Timberwolf, still very much on the side of its Shadow Bandit owners. Gonna try and take a bite out of Lady Tilda, and does manage to. Just angry and scared, and does a chomp, and it hurts Lady Tilda, but it's on your leg. You have this beautiful gown. There's a sort of split up it so your leg's exposed, and that's where it bites you. There is now, unfortunately, a small amount of blood on the gown, but it is largely undamaged.
And luckily, this is a convertible gown that I can modify into a shorter dress, so it's okay. I'm not as upset about that. I'm more just writhing in pain.
Well, you're making it
but making it work.
Yeah.
Right. Is the arrow still between your teeth? So you
is.
Bite down on it.
Just kind of like,
and then I move it behind my ear like a pencil, like a writer's pencil. Hold it like a cigarette.
and Aroka's gonna be like, "You look fabulous."
Thank you.
Oh.
That is a hit. Bandit is extremely scorched. The sort of shadowy edge to the bandit's cloak has sort of been replaced with what looks like true smoke. And the next bandit's going to take a last-ditch rush at Aspen and Brock. Choosing between them, he just picks the target that's straight ahead, shoots a shadowy arrow at Aspen. Again, misses it. You just hear a blink as it hits the stonework behind you.
Not the beautiful stones. I'm kind of mad about it, actually. No.
Lady Tilda.
Wow.
What would you like to do?
I don't want to have to do this, so I'm avoiding doing it.
You made me so nervous for a second.
I am going to use the Wellspring of Light, which will hopefully give my friend Aroka some boost. So let's see. Da-da-da-da. Oh, hold on. Sorry.
You have to target her directly with Wellspring.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Boost up that HP.
Beautiful.
And none for you, Shadow Bandit.
He sort of looks confused. Yeah, just this sort of spool of dark smoke escapes his lips, and he drops to the floor. And in contrast to Roka, you feel great. Aspen, over to you.
I again, ever searching for opportunity to insert witty quips and puns into my combat moves, I get over to this Shadow Bandit and I said, "You didn't like fire, but ice is nice," and I reach back and throw a crystallize at him.
And ice cold, that hits. He's frozen. He's vulnerable. That means he's going to take extra damage. He's slow. He can move one less square from now on. He is not looking good, and he's about to hit a wall of Brock, I imagine.
Yeah, Brock is just like scratching his head. It's like, the ice isn't nice. It's cold. It's like it's freezing all the time.
Brock muttering while he like finishes off the bandit as well. Like the bandit's like sort of trying to follow, and then all of a sudden just sees black. He's gone. He's fully unconscious. This final Timberwolf is confused, loyal to the last. Is gonna approach and sort of growl at both of you, Iroka and Lady Tilda, and is going to try and bite Iroka.
No.
As far as it's concerned, it's still defending its territory. But maybe there's something in its heart that is questioning its training at this point, because those teeth just snap shut and you brace yourself, Iroka, but it hasn't bitten you. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna turn to Lady Tilda and say, do you have any snacks in your bag?
We have I have little candies, but they aren't really good, suitable
Not
for
really
dogs.
good for dogs. I feel that. Oh. Well, I mean, we could try charming this dog as well.
We could try charming this dog as well. I like that.
I have shackles.
I also have shackles.
The appropriate amount of shackles for a dog.
That's true.
4.
Do you
That's
need
4
4 too?
shackles.
How many shackles do you need for a dog?
Oh, just 1.
Oh.
I don't know.
I know what we could do. I don't know if these hounds function like I can't remember exactly what movie or what creature it was, but like I know what it is. It's a hippogriff. Maybe if we bow to this now confused Timberwolf, they will understand that we are friends and maybe come hang out with us. What do you think?
I would say this is more of a nature check, because you're trying to ascertain the appropriate body language that will show this creature that you are not a threat, and perhaps even instill a sort of aura of reverence and respect between the two of you. So I would like for that to be a nature roll. I'm going to keep it at normal, even though we have determined that Iroka doesn't know a massive amount about this particular wolf. But you are from the Wild Woods and do know wild wolves, so let's go nature check on normal, please.
Okay.
You do not know. And it is looking at you and sort of snarling and growling. And in terms of anything you can do to sort of physically show, or whether there's any action that this creature would specifically recognize, you do not know. I will give you the opportunity for one other skill check, for one other way to neutralize the threat of this Timberwolf, whether that's a distraction, a charm, some kind of strength check. And obviously, Lady Tilda, you are close by too, so you are also welcome to assist.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing what's going down.
Well, I have continued to look for snacks in my trunk, and unfortunately I don't have any treats, but I do have a bunch of costumes.
This image of this costume trunk that's been drug out on the battlefield is very funny.
This is good.
And I just happen to have a Timberwolf-sized wig.
This is not where I thought this was going.
Okay.
Anyway, Anyway, I do think it would be fun to try to charm this Timberwolf to sort of being our friend, and I would love to roll for charm, unless, Aroka, you have other ideas.
No, I think what you've got planned is perfect. No notes.
Great.
Okay.
Send it.
Yeah. So to be clear, you've got a Timberwolf wig, and I'm assuming that's like ears and sort of the fur, almost like a hood.
Oh, like, or a Timberwolf-sized wig. So I just happen to have, like, it's like more of a sequiny, not sequin, tinsel wig that just would fit on their head. And I think they would make an excellent addition to our pack.
I think the goal is to make them feel beautiful.
Yeah, I want them to feel beautiful and cohesive and with loved. Our set. And loved.
This is incredible. You could have had any costume. And for a second, I thought you were going to try and make yourself look like a Timberwolf.
That's what I thought.
The fact that no, that's not the case. That you've got a sparkly wig and you want to make this Timberwolf look and feel beautiful.
Always keep investing. Never let them know your next move.
One of the purest things that I could have hoped for in this game. In spite of my better judgment, please roll a charm check on normal to see, because I love this so much that I want it to happen.
I want it to happen so badly.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Yes!
So,
Timberwolf.
You look beautiful!
Perhaps this Timberwolf was once part of a travelling circus. Perhaps it was once the pet of a grand dame who had sequins and diamonds for days. It's impossible for us to know, but when Lady Tilda pulls out this beautiful tinsel wig, something changes in this beast's eyes, and you can tell that it wants nothing more than to be adorned with sparkles, to feel like the queen it is in this part of the Long Meadows. Please do just finish off this beautiful scene, Lady Tilda, by describing, by please painting the picture of the moment that you place the wig on the Timberwolf's head.
So the Timberwolf that was standing now sits. I give them a little pet on their normal head pre-wig. Add on the tinsel wig. They look gorgeous. It falls to about their jawline, their timber jaw. But I say, oh, but wait. And then the area of my leg in which they bit me, that left me a little bit of extra fabric scraps, I pull off and I put as a little bandana around their neck, and now we match. We match.
Aroka's gonna hold up like the blade of her axe, and almost as like a reflection, so that the people can see how beautiful they look right now.
Yeah,
Sparkles.
you could swear that as the Timberwolf gazes at its own reflection, you can see tears in its eyes as it looks back at itself.
You look great.
And it sort of looks at you with what you can just tell is a look of sheer gratitude, and turns on its heel and strides away into sort of the depths of the ruin and the fallows. A changed wolf, a proud wolf, and a wolf that will forever be able to hold its head high. Just a beautiful sparkling beacon among the lupine creatures of Mythos. So
beautiful. It's so beautiful.
You're standing outside the ruin entrance, and you've got some singed, injured bandits on the floor, on the ground in front of you. One of them's sort of been pummeled into the ground. There's actually 3 of these guys. Would you like to do anything with these guys? They're sort of semi-conscious. You might be able to talk to them. Of course, you can search them. Feel free to do whatever you would like. And also you can see just beyond the archway some steps down leading into what is presumably the belly of this old building.
Well, I know at least 2 of us have shackles in our bags if we wanted to make sure they don't get back up again.
Yeah, Brock will pick up his shackles and be like, and here is one for you, and I'll just pop one right on there.
And one for you.
And while I'm doing that, I'm also going to use the self-care spell to get some healing.
Yeah, please do. Go ahead and cast your spell on normal.
Oh, yes. Whew, that was close.
Beautiful. Let's put you up. I think by...
It says heal by half,
20.
so that would put me all the way
Yeah,
up.
I was just doing the math. Okay, yes, you're right. Thank you for the assist. You're feeling good. Also, Guardians amongst you, don't forget that you do also have the imprison spell, which you could use on these merry band of bandits as well.
One of my favorites.
But don't let me leave you. Do tell me what else you would like to do.
Well, if we do use the imprison spell, we could certainly use that to get these guys out of here after we've maybe asked them a couple of questions, if we have any questions to ask, and rummage through their pockets. And then take our shackles back, probably. Just to, just in case.
I'd like to rummage through their pockets. It's the rogue in me. I can't resist.
Mhm.
Even if they weren't like shackled, I'd still want to rummage through their pockets. But since they are, it feels like it'd be pretty easy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do it.
Yeah, they can't stop you. They're not doing particularly well. So you rummage through the sort of cloak and the pockets of the bandit closest to you, Aston, and your hand closes around a what feels like a small stone, and you pluck out a shadow rune. These runes are used by the bandits. You see the shadowy edge around their cloaks. It sort of gives them a little edge when they're trying to hide and be extra stealthy. Something that will surely make a rogue such as yourself very tricky to spot if you're trying to hide. Not that you ever would. There's 2 more bandits on the ground if anybody would like to take a peek at what they might have or ask them any questions.
Oh, we definitely take their stuff. We take their stuff. Whatever they have, we're taking it.
Yeah.
Do they have any snacks?
That's a really good question.
You find snacks. One of them you find just a sort of scrap of paper. Brock, you pick this up, and it has just 3 words written on as though a note has been taken for himself. It says snake, oxen, and raven. Those are the 3 words on the paper. Who's the person rummaging around bandit number 3?
That's me.
Out of interest.
I'm just going to hand them the shackles and say, trade ya, and then reach into their pockets.
So, Iroka, the bandit, as you sort of rummage around, the bandits just look at you, it's like, please, anything but that, don't take that. And you pluck out a bottle of Rizfizz on this bandit. Not sure if you're familiar, but it's sort of a sort of love potion of sorts. It's sort of an intoxicating oil that supercharges your mojo and increases your natural allure. And the bandit just looks at you, he's like, oh, I saved up for ages to get that.
What do you need this for? You seem like a
None
nice
of your
fella.
business.
Okay, you know what? Fair enough. Alright, I'll put it back in his pocket.
Do you?
Yeah. Yeah, you can keep it. But then I'm sending you to the nearest authority. And they're probably going to confiscate it, but that's fine.
Amazing. So you gonna send these guys away?
Are we all good with the bandits? Okay, wait.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go. We've got to continue the tour.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh
actually,
yeah, the tour.
Your new calling. No. I think what I'll do is like I'll hand the Rizfizz back and say trade ya, and then take my shackles back, and then do I need
Beautiful.
to do an imprison spell for each of them?
I'm not going to have you. These guys are already shackled and defeated. I'm not going to have you roll. You're able to cast those spells without too much fuss. And the bandits disappear from view. They will be transported to the nearest authority. So that might be Dylan the Tallgrass Pride, who will, I'm sure, have somewhere for them to go, or it might be another sort of post in the Long Meadows. Depends what's nearest and what's most appropriate. So you continue. Underneath the archway, a stone staircase descends into the belly of the ruin below. The steps that you're walking down have been eroded by time, and the walls are slick with rainwater and moss. The air's eerily still, and you can't hear anything but the sound of your echoing footsteps and the occasional drip of water. After a few moments of darkness, the passageway opens out into a ruined atrium. It's illuminated by the moonlight cascading through the broken ceiling. You can see much of the original stonework remains. Purple spiral carving and golden inlay suggests that this ruin was once the grand domain of a long-forgotten aristocrat. Those of you who are seasoned travellers, what do you know about old world ruins? Has anybody come across them before?
Tilda had a lot of information. Lady Tilda, excuse me.
Well, when last time I was here, they were kind of new world runes. Is the only thing. There's definitely a lot more greenery than the last time I was here, but I think the rule of thumb is wander around. Oh, okay. Shall I roll for
I have
academics?
sent Lady Tilda an academics request because I will be able to put a little colour on what you're saying, but I also don't wish to interrupt you because
Oh no, I think
I
think the rule of thumb is just wander down every corridor and hope for the best. Is usually the. Oh, yes.
Well, yeah, you actually are. You've learned a bit about old world ruins. You were taught that the old world was this sort of thriving society, kind of very affluent, very different to the mythos that you know and live in. And it was once wiped out by a catastrophic event known as the Shattering. And sort of structures such like this do tend to have sort of a number of chambers and corridors, and they were vast, and the likelihood is only a portion of this place remains. So your strategy of just kind of checking out every nook and cranny isn't a bad one. There's no consistency to old world ruins that would say like this would always be here, this would always be here. And back in the olden days, of course, they would all consistently have things like grand dining rooms and chambers and things. But this is a ruin. There's no telling, especially if it's been overtaken by bandits, what it would be used for today. But you just know your history a little bit, and so you're able to shed a little light on the history of this place, which one would expect from a fantastic tour guide such as yourself. Now, two doorways stand before you. The left glimmers with a soft sort of bluish light, while the right glows in a more sort of deeper shade of purple. As your eyes adjust to the lower light in this area, you can see that there are several steps, several muddy footsteps, kind of marking the ground. But for now, as you stand here, at least for the time being, the ruin seems eerily quiet. And that is where we will end today's session.
Oh, very cool.
No.